Thanks so much for your interest in doing authentic relating with us. I'm Laureli Shimayo.
And I'm David Betz-Zall. Authentic relating is it's a practice of being present in the moment, in touch with your physical sensations, your emotional feelings, your thoughts and stories and judgments, while also being as present as possible with whoever is with you here right now, as well as paying attention to the group dynamics between you.
So some of the ways that authentic relating helps you um, be more authentic and being in more connection is that you learn things like your feelings. What are they? What's happening? And revealing and sharing them with other people. Maybe get more comfortable sharing deeper truths about yourself, maybe looking in more deeply than you have before, learning to listen, hear people, and have them really get that you hear them. um, Opportunities to take down masks and share more of who you are, discover what's underneath, um, learning to be with conflict and stay in connection at the same time, experience what others, learn what others are experiencing and feel more compassion for them. We call it getting in others' world. All that stuff happens in authentic relating.
In order to make authentic relating safe enough um, and connected enough for you to be able to lean into whatever edges you decide you want to lean into while you're here. We have agreements. These agreements include confidentiality. They include honoring self and honoring other, and they're specifically designed to make it a safe enough place for growth. And a place where you're able to ask for and hopefully get what it is that you want in the moment.
I realized one thing that we haven't actually talked about, which is so important to this whole thing, is the reason why we do this also is because we play. We call these authentic relating games, right? Because they're
Yeah.
fun. So one of the games that we play is make a shape. Just simple, playful, and it also teaches us to pay attention to each other and notice what's happening in our bodies. Like I might make a shape like this that David copies, and then like this, and then he might make a shape. And am I paying attention? Whoa! And then I do another thing. And you get a whole group doing this all together, and different people making shapes and following each other, and how much do people lead and follow, and it gets goofy and silly, and it gets us in our bodies at the same time.
There's also connection games such as empathy. In empathy, you go into breakout rooms in pairs, and one person is the speaker first, and the other person is the listener first. And the speaker spends a couple of minutes talking about something that's alive for them. By alive, we mean something that is emotionally important right now to the speaker, and then the listener has an opportunity to reflect what they heard as exactly as possible, and then the speaker gets to either reiterate, to add to, or to say more about whatever it is they're talking about. And it can be tremendously connecting and lead to really lovely mutual respect and care.
There are some collaborative games like Choose Your Own Adventure, where groups of three get together and one person shares something that's alive for them, something on their heart. And the two people listening, after a little bit, share which threads have their attention, and the person sharing chooses which one to go down. And they do that again and where they go down, etc. So it's a way they get to know each other really deeply and get to discover sometimes things about themselves that they didn't know because they haven't wandered down all those trails. And they also share impact with each other to really experience each other and what our connections as humans, what that is.
We also have group awareness games like the scenes, because part of authentic relating is being alive to the group dynamics while you're also alive to what's happening with your partner and what's happening with yourself. The seams helps to helps to get a handle on how everyone thinks things seem right now. It it encourages and trains us in keeping an eye on like on the context of the group, noticing if our curiosity is going towards a certain person or a certain dynamic, and increasing our own awareness.
We also have all kinds of personal growth games that are games and they help grow us in different ways, such as projection games. So it might be, what am I projecting on you? And I'd be willing to reveal that and find out how true that is. Or I might be willing to reveal and share what do I imagine you're projecting and making up about me? All kinds of different things.
We also do games that are specifically around leaning into the things that we might be afraid of, such as interrupt. Interrupt is a game where you interrupt people while they are talking, and you invite them to interrupt you as well. And so you get to lean into both sides. What what sensations and feelings and stories come up in you when you interrupt someone? What comes up in you when you're interrupted? How can you use this information to become more skillful on how and when you choose to interrupt, and how you react when you are interrupted?
One of the riskier games that creates deep connections is hot seat. Someone chooses to be in the hot seat and they choose how hot they want to get, mild, medium, spicy. And remember, it's always on or self. So they only go as deep as they want to go. And people ask them questions that they really want to know the answer to. And they find out the answer. More questions, more people in the hot seat.
We also have personal discovery games such as First Word. In First Word, you're invited to come up with just one word, a short word that was important to you as a child, and then think of a conversation that you want to have that you have not had for whatever reason. It might be because the person who you want to talk with is gone, doesn't want to talk to you. You might be scared to have that conversation. There might be really good reasons why you cannot have that conversation, but there's some desire in you to have it. And in First Word, you get to have that conversation with a partner who is standing in for whoever it is you want to talk to without spilling any information. No secrets get no secrets get spilled in this game, but you get to feel into the emotional topography of the conversation that you want to have. You get to feel how it is to have that conversation, even though you may be the only one who knows what it's really about at the end of the game.
Hmm. We also have games that bring us so present to what's really so important to us in the moment. One of those games is Last Day on Earth. To imagine someone important to you, it might be a partner or a child or a pet, and imagine it's your last day on Earth or their last day on Earth. What do you want to tell them? When you tell that to your partner, you get witnessed.
Finally, we have a category of appreciation games, which tend to be warming and connecting. They're often sweet. They often build really positive feelings between the people who play them. An example is work of art. In work of art, once again, it's a paired game. One of you is in the role of the artist who's creating their masterpiece. The other one is in the role of the masterpiece. And the artist can work in any medium they want. They can use paint, they can use pencil, they can use clay, but their job is to create art right here, right of the face of the person who they're with, to note the features of them, to look closely at them, to see how to represent them. And it doesn't have to be just their face, it can include whatever feelings the artist has looking on to the subject. and it can be represented however the artist feels is right.
There's all kinds of great feedback we've gotten from these experiences. Like, we know they're deeply connecting and growthful. People have said things like, it's the most connected I've ever felt on Zoom.
Someone talked about becoming more willing to be curious about what's going on for someone else, even when I'm feeling triggered.
Someone said that it gave them more insight into themselves. They're more able to see how others see them.
Oh, so we'd love it if you were to join us at our deep dives or um, or at our social events to see what it's like.
Yeah. So, oh gosh, we have lots of opportunities where you can experience this with us. We have some upcoming free social hours. Two of them are on Tuesday, March 8th. We have them at 3:30 to 5 p.m. and 7 to 8:30 p.m. These are free. You can come join us to experiment and explore what it's like to do these games. We are part of Authentic Seattle, and there are drop-in games every Wednesday evenings too, that with us, who are going to be leading this upcoming event, you can experience them with us. We also have them the next Tuesday, March 15, 3:30 to 5 p.m., 7 to 8:30 p.m. Come to all four. We'd be happy to have you. And these are ways that you can get a sample of what it's like to be with us as we get ready for our deep dive. You want to say a little bit about what the deep dive is about?
So the deep dive is a closed group. We meet once a week on Tuesdays for 6 weeks. And we've already talked about how connecting and how growthful these games can be. And we were talking about the drop-ins. Like, you can come to a drop-in and you can get a lot of depth. But if you come to the deep dive with the same group of people every week for 6 weeks, you can go so much deeper. We've had lasting friendships come out of the deep dive. We've had people come to 8 or 9 of these courses in a row. Um, we've People have experienced incredible personal growth through them, incredible sense of connection, incredible like banishment of loneliness, knowing that there are people there who are good and who want the best for you. It's incredible.
The way I describe some of the personal growth that people have gone through is that it really helps them get more bendy again. Physically, some of the play, they're really emotionally fluid and bendy and able to be with all kinds of things that show up inside themselves and then with other people. So if you'd like to do the 6-week deep dive with us, we start on March 22 and we go for 6 weeks in a row, and I'll go grab those dates in a moment. And we have 2 times. You can do it 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, so it's 2 hours, or 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific time. It's a sliding scale, so it's 125 to 175, where 175 supports us to support other people on the 125 end, and 150 is right in the middle. And we also have a lower rate for BIPOC folks as a step of making reparations. That's $75. If you've done a deep dive with us before and you've made it all the way to the end of the video too, you can take $25 off. So if you think you're going to like this and you want to do more, it'll be a lower price. We meet in Zoom just like this. We work in breakout rooms and all together in the big room. And Dave and I have had 12 sets of these. We did 2 in the afternoon and evening just this last couple months. So it's March and April. And share a little bit more. I'll go get all those dates.
Yeah. I'm so grateful that you stayed here with us and that you're interested in doing authentic relating with us. Yeah. If you come to the deep dive, we won't necessarily play all the games we talked about. We'll probably play many of them. But Laureli and I, we always have plans for the deep dives, and those plans have never lasted. we
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 change them
changed.
and tune them.
Mhm. Yeah, based on the needs and the needs of the people who show up. Based on we change every deep dive based on what happened the previous week. So if there are things that, like, if for example, people people clearly want or need more connection, we'll do more connection. If there are specific things that happen in the deep dive that we want to address, either directly or in a skills sense, we will address them in that next session. Yeah, and we have gotten incredible response. And yeah, I hope that you'll join us and explore. Join us at the socials, see what it's all about.
So links to all of these are going to be in the message connected to this video. And the dates are March 22 when we start. And it's so important that you come to the first one. Everyone has to come to the first one because we set agreements together as a group. And then
you actually also have to talk to us before you come to the first one, because we want to talk to you for at least a bit and make sure that the deep dive can give you what you need, and that we have a group with the right sort of mixture to make sure that it works well for us as facilitators and for all of the participants.
That's right. And then you don't have to promise to come to all 6. The first one and then 3 more. So at least 4 of them. And it's March 22. Connect with us ahead of time. It could be at one of the free socials on March 8 or March 15. And then so March 22, 29, and April 5, 12, 19, and 26. We're so excited to play with you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. And any questions, just reach out to us. We're excited to connect and to play. See you soon.